Welcome back everyone to part 2 in this series covering functionalism theory of mass media. So in part 1 I have already given you an overview of what is to be covered in this series. So this part 2 section, as I have already specified in part 1, it will cover the first aspect of this theory, which is to cover on Laswell and Wright classic 4 functions of the mass media. In regards to that, Harold Laswell and Charles Wright have identified 4 functions, as you can see on the slide. And in this part 2, we are going to look at each one of them and take down notes as well on each one of the functions performed by the media. Just to remind you that in part 1 I have already told you, but it's good to kind of refresh our memory, is that when we look at Laswell and Wright and the functionalist theory of mass media, we have to always keep in mind that they are addressing the positive functions performed by the mass media. So without delay, let's move on to the first one. So the first function is surveillance of the environment. And surveillance of the environment implies that the mass media is the one to report any information which has taken place in the society to the public in general, and therefore the public, the audience, is always informed about what is happening in society. And in fact, many people they rely heavily on mass media for information, and they also use the mass media as a means to share wherever they are living, their feelings and their opinions. And when we speak about surveillance of the environment, it can refer to both old and new media. So what is to be really retained here is a proper watch on important and unimportant events. What we mean by unimportant events is any kind of event that takes place. It's not necessarily major events, but even trivial events are reported in the media. And as I've already told you, that the people rely heavily on media, and the media acts as their ears and their eyes for them. So this is what we meant by surveillance of environment. The next one is correlating or interpreting the information, right? And here we are speaking about the media acting as an educator to the public, right? And forging public opinion. That is, when information are transmitted to the audience receive the information, they interpret it, they analyze it, they share it with other people, and they build an opinion about the information that they have received. So which is exactly what Laswell and Wright is trying to explain, is that one of the functions is to enable the audience, the people, to correlate and interpret the information and reach an opinion about the events that have been reported in the media. The next one is transmission of information, and when we speak about transmission of information, the functionalists through Laswell and Wright are focalizing on the socialization as a function of the media, right? Where the media acts as a socialization agency, educating the public about a variety of sphere, where the mass media acts as an education tool. And then the most important one is that it shapes the social attitudes of people, and it helps in analyzing any political decisions which are taken. But the most important part when Laslet and Wright write about transmission of information, they are looking at how the mass media helps in cultural transmission. That is how the culture of the society is transmitted to new generations via mass media, right? And children get to learn about the norms and beliefs of their society by looking at the content which is broadcasted for them on media, and they kind of forge already, they kind of socialize already about what is good, what is bad, what is desirable, and what is undesirable. So the role of the media, according to Wright and Aslet, is to teach about the norms, rules, and values of the society and ensure that it is transmitted from one generation to the other. The next one is entertainment, and this is really a very important role of mass media, which is to kind of provide leisure, to be a mean of leisure for people, and people use the mass media to kind of relax and enjoy, a variety of shows, movies, and drama just for leisure purposes, right? So it is a form of entertainment which keep people distracted from their hectic life and providing them some leisure activities at home or in any public places such as the cinema, right? So it produces the entertainment quotients, and it provides some peace. Yeah, it provides some peace, and it acts as it provides people with a leisure activities, as I've just told you. So yeah, entertainment is a very important function of mass media. The last one, which Laslet and Wright look upon, is the function of persuasion. That is the capacity to influence the public and influence the audience and their attitudes. So in such along this line, the media kind of bring new ways, new wave of thoughts and changes where it can really impact on our way of behaving. For instance, one term which comes to my mind is through cultural socialization, right, and globalization. This is where we are exposed to several cultures, and we kind of change our lifestyle in order to match up with what is trending. So yeah, this is a very important function of mass media, where it has that persuasive capacity on people way of believing, of behaving, and of acting. So this is it on the 4 functions as identified by Laswell and Wright. Let's just go back to this slide. So in this part 2, we have covered on the classic 4 functions: surveillance, correlating and interpreting information, transmission of information, and entertainment, supported by explanations and supported by notes. So I will now pens off, and I will recommend you to do the follow-up with part 3 of this series, where we'll be looking at intended and unintended functions of the mass media, still from a functionalist perspective. So here you are, expecting you to follow the part 3. Take care.